4 o'clock, so this is County Executive Haley. I'll call this financial management meeting for September 9th, 2020 to order. So if anyone makes a motion or makes a statement, if you'll identify your name just to make sure that we have it in the record. So it looks like all of our committee members are present. So I think you were emailed out a copy of our last financial management minutes. Is there a motion to dispense with the reading of those minutes and is approved as presented?
Grant Swallows, so moved.
We have a motion for Mr. Swallows. Is there a second?
Second, Blaine Wiltshire.
Second from Commissioner Wiltshire. Does anybody want to speak to that motion or have any corrections to said minutes? Did all in favor say aye?
Aye.
I hear no opposed, so motion carries unanimously. We have several items on the agenda for today. So thank each and every one of you for being here at 4 o'clock. First item is to award the insurance brokerage services for Warren County government and schools. Mr. Cotton, you want to address that? Mr. Swallows, you may want to address that as well, and then we'll make a motion.
Sure thing. We decided to send, it's been a while since the county issued brokerage services for voluntary insurances, and it had been about 5 years since the school had done so. We kind of spoken, my office and then Director Cox prior to his departure, about doing it as a joint venture in order to save the county and hopefully get the county employees a little bigger buying power in order to save them some money on premiums. So that's what we did. We sent out an RFP. We got 8 responses. Then the insurance, the group that was made up of myself, Director Swallows, Superintendent Glenn, Executive Haley, and then Mary Jennifer, the budget and compliance director for the school system, interviewed 3 of the brokers who replied, and we came to the consensus that 5 Points would probably be the best fit for the county as far as the services they offer, plus the insurances that they can provide to the county employees.
I will just echo what Justin said. It was quite a process to go through, and we met as a special call meeting in the school board last night, discussed these same things. It's going to be a pretty substantial savings for us in the school system. We had been with Scott Hale and Company, who did a fantastic job for us, and really just no real reason why we would want to go away from him, other than the fact that 5 Points just offers some more tools that can make us more effective and more efficient. They have they own those tools, so they can make them more cost effective. And so we're paying for a lot of separate things now, and then they will, by going with this company, 5 Points, it will be a pretty substantial savings for us. Plus, just like Justin said, we feel like the buying power of joining the school system and the county together will hopefully give our employees a better opportunity for a cost-effective option with voluntary insurance. So our board passed that unanimously last night.
Mr. Swallows, would you like to make a motion then so we can open it up for discussion?
I would make a motion that we approve 5 Points as the voluntary insurance provider.
And County Executive Haley will second that. So now we can open up to discussion about 5 Points, if there's any questions.
I have a question, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, is this Commissioner Ridley?
I'm sorry. Justin, did we get any paperwork or anything on the bids that we could take a look at? I don't think we had anything covering that in our.
No, no, there weren't really bids per se. It was since the county, since there's no dollar amount for the county involved
Right.
really, as far as what we'd be paying. We have the responses here in the office, but I think all 8 combined, there's close to 400 or 500 pages probably worth
I
of
understand.
material there. I mean, I can get those. I think I can get digital copies of those sent out to if anyone needs one. If a decision's not going to be made today.
Well, my question, I guess, is, Justin, is this going to be as 5 Points, are they going to be the most economical, or are they offering more services than the other people?
Both.
Like Director Swallow said, Scott Hale with the school system's been using, he's been doing a great job, but there's just some of the services that 5 Points is going to offer, he can't. He could offer them, but he couldn't do it and make any money, or we'd have to pay extra for them. I don't remember exactly what the number is on the school side, but my office alone will save close to $10,000 a year in services that we're currently purchasing through our software provider, who is partnered with a subsidiary company of 5 Points. And if 5 Points becomes our broker, then we will no longer have to purchase those services through an intermediary. We'll be able to they'll just be provided at almost no cost from 5 Points itself. So it will be much more economical for the county as far as bottom line. Also, we'll be able to get some services we're not currently using, which should, make things a little more efficient for both the employees, getting their information, and also having access to their broker, as well as streamlining some HR processing in-house.
And Scott, I'll add, just I can give you some real numbers. For us, it'll be about a $30,000 savings, because right now we're paying for an example, ACA reporting, or the example I used last night was our online pay stubs and deductions. By going with 5 Points, that's all rolled into the package that we have, and so it's a considerable savings for us, and they are offering us more things that will help us be more efficient. Like I said, with Justin said, with human resource management and onboarding and things like that, things we're paying for separately now that will now come under this umbrella.
Okay, thank you very much.
And we did interview the top 3 proposals, and so they either did by Zoom or came and presented in person. So we did get one-on-one with each one of the brokerage firms. We have a motion and second. Any other questions?
Road Superintendent Levy Glenn speaking.
Yes.
Justin, could you elaborate on the terms of this contract?
Yes,
So
yes, I
everybody would
can.
know?
It would be 3 years initially, with 2 one-year options that at our discretion.
And Justin, this is a service that's offered to the employees. It's nothing mandated on any office or office officials or nothing. It changes nothing the way the offices are run and the way they operate their daily business office.
That is correct. Yeah, this is purely the only thing this would affect would be, again, some services for the schools and some services for us, for my office, that we would be getting at savings. And then as far as the employees go, it'll just be their optional insurances. They'll still be optional. There'll be nothing mandated into this.
Okay, you might explain too about the health insurance.
Yeah, this is not covering the health insurance, because we are covered with our health insurance through the state of Tennessee as participating members of TCRS. So this does not affect county health insurance.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any additional questions? We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye for 5 points.
Aye.
Any nays? The motion carries unanimously. Second item is award the Warren County Sheriff's Department's vehicle bid. So, Mr. Cotton, did we get that in?
We did. And I sent out the bid tab along with the packet earlier today. And the sheriff had expressed his interest to go with Reddick Brown Ford in Morrison. Historically, we've tried to use the local dealers, and they've not had good luck any time that they've purchased Durangos in the past. So it's the wishes of the sheriff to that the committee award this to Reddick Brown Ford.
So, would someone like to make that motion?
So moved. Grant Swallows.
So we have a motion from Director Swallows. Is there a second?
Daniel Owens, second.
Second from Commissioner Owens. Has anybody got any additional questions? Did all in favor say aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing no nays, motion carries unanimously. Third item is award the 2020 Warren County Schools Special Education Reading Intervention Program bid. Mr. Swallows, would you like to introduce that?
Yes, this is primarily related to intervention for our SPED students, and so had to go out to bid. And this year, primarily, we're asking that we go with this vendor that's school specialty, primarily because, as we wrote it in there, knowing what we were going to face this year, this vendor has an online option. It's the only vendor that has an online option. As you can see with all the different bids and the packages, there were a wide array of prices that we got back, but school specialty fits our needs the best this year because of their online intervention program. And so that's who we are recommending. I make a motion that we recommend the bid from school specialty at $21,258.50.
We have a
Second, Blaine
motion.
Wiltshire.
Do we have a second from Commissioner Wiltshire? Is there any further discussion or questions of Director Swallows? So all in favor of school specialty for $21,258.50 for the online option services, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing no nays, motion carries unanimously. Second item is the Warren County School Systems machine, lathe, and drills bid. So, Director Swallows, you want to introduce that?
I will. These are, again, for the machine, our machining program at the high school and the CTE program. Pretty straightforward. These are the low bids for the bench lathes, the Blue Ridge machinery at $2,696.25, a total of $5,392.50. And for our drills, ATG, which again is the low bid, total $4,216.40. And you can see free shipping with both of those there. So again, would make the motion that we accept the low bids for our CTE program.
Second, Commissioner Rubley.
We have a motion from Director Swallows, second from Commissioner Rubley. Anybody got any further questions? Then all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries unanimously. Next item is amendment GFFY 2021-1. Mr. Cotton?
Yes, this is a budget amendment to realign the budget with the, since the budget was passed prior to the amendments that were made to the nonprofit resolution back in July. This is an amendment to correct the changes in the budget that were made to that nonprofit resolution.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion from Commissioner Rubley. Is there a second?
Second, Highway Superintendent Glenn.
Okay, second from Director Glenn. Has anybody got any further questions of Mr. Cotton about the budget amendment? Then all in favor say aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries unanimously. Next one is Budget Amendment GFFY 2021-2. Mr. Cotton?
This is a budget amendment at the request of the sheriff. It did go through, Budget and Finance already. This is doing two separate things. One thing is moving $16,000 from the jail law enforcement equipment to the sheriff's department for contracted services. This is so that they can contract with a company to update their procedures manual. It's a pretty specific process, pretty in-depth due to the nature of all the laws regarding enforcement of, all the different aspects of both the jail and the certified officers. Also, since the jail has contracted out the cafeteria services, the sheriff would like to move the funds previously allocated for cafeteria personnel, which was a corrections officer, to the sheriff's department, along with some other salaries and wages funds, in order to be able to hire a certified officer to work in the jail during business hours. This would free up a lot of time from the investigators and some of the other folks there working in the jail, dealing with serving warrants and some other aspects of things that go on during regular operation at the jail.
Okay. So
Motion to
I will
approve.
make that motion.
Second, Commissioner Ruble.
Second from Commissioner Rubley. Now we can open it up to discussion.
Mr. Chairman, just a note there, I talked to Major Walker, and he, from all indications, he says that this is pretty much going to complete their need for employees at the time that they are pretty much full staffed, and this is the last employee that they're going to be needing to really make everything work smoothly out there.
It is, and I think it'll, by freeing up that money from the cafeteria, it's better directed towards something that will, be a little bit more effective, particularly in the issuing of those warrants and working in that front office there. So we got a motion and a second. Any further questions? Did all in favor say aye? Thank you. Motion carries for GFFY 2021-2 with no nays. It passes unanimously. Mr. Cotton, are there any additional budget amendments and transfers?
Yes, I sent out a copy of a budget transfer that passed Highway and Bridge, I believe last night or yesterday afternoon. If Superintendent Glenn would like to speak to this one.
Yes, one of the categories is highway maintenance, rentals. We had to rent some equipment, and we didn't know we was going to have to, and we just had what normally we use in rentals, so we're moving 3,000 out of concrete pipe into rentals, and that should carry on out through the rest of the year. Of course, sometimes unforeseen things can happen with the highway department. And the other one is category 6100, data processing equipment. We're moving $120 from there into data processing services. So that's only two line items that we're moving stuff in-house, and I so move.
So I have a motion from Director Glenn. Is there a second?
Second, Commissioner Ruble.
Second by Blank.
Second for Commissioner Rubley. Has anybody got any questions of Mr. Glenn? Then all in favor say aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries unanimously. Mr. Cotton, any more budget amendments?
No.
Didn't think so. Surplus property,
I distributed a list, several lists. We had a few small things in the general county, some desks, just some stuff that needed to be thrown away or auctioned. Included a list of surplus equipment from the highway department that also went through highway and bridge. And then there is a list of equipment from the school system. I believe the intent for all of the school system items would be for them to be placed on GovDeals.
So, you got emailed out a list. So is there a motion to accept that list of surplus property for sale and disposal?
I'll put that in the form of a motion, Commissioner Wiltshire.
So Chairman Wiltshire makes a motion. Is there a second?
Highway Glenn seconds it.
We have Director Glenn seconds that. Has anybody got any specific questions, Mr. Cotton, about any of the surplus, or Mr. Swallows or Mr. Glenn, of the surplus materials that may have come out of their departments or their offices?
I have a question. Historically, in the past, Superintendent Glenn, you've liked to sell a lot of stuff at local auction. Are you planning to have one anytime soon, or do you want this stuff, the highway list, sold on GovDeals?
Well, I think, the highway board discussed it at our meeting yesterday afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
And, there's gonna be a equipment auction coming up at the fairgrounds, I think the 10th of next month.
Oh, okay.
And I'm gonna contact that auction company, and, as a matter of fact, I've already spoken with him. And we're gonna put our equipment in there, and, we'll sell it all as one lot when we start on it. And he worked everything out with me, and, as far as the time to sell it, and, give the local citizens a chance to buy back anything that they think they might be interested in. We have a backhoe that's really good shape. Of course, we went using track hoes now, and a lot of this stuff we just don't use anymore. And so instead of it sitting around, I wanna turn over my money and get me some more new equipment, so it'll be safer and, be dependable and ready to go. And we will be having it in this auction, I think in October. There'll be some ads in the paper. And, that's what we all decided that, that would be a good thing to do. They left it up to my decision, so.
Any other questions, Mr. Glenn or Mr. Swallows?
Mr. Chairman, that being said, do we need to modify that motion to separate one from GovDeals and the other for auction?
So that motion will, the equipment for the highway department will not be on GovDeals. It will be a separate auction, be held at the fairgrounds that was described by Mr. Glenn. So we'll amend that motion.
Yes.
Any further questions?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
are we ready for any other additional business?
We got to vote on this, and then we should be,
Okay.
unless there's additional information. So we got a motion, a second, and amendment to the original motion. So all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries unanimously. Mr. Cotton, is there any other business that needs to be brought before financial management to your knowledge?
Only thing I've got is I have an update on the tractor and bush hog
Okay.
situation with the sanitation department.
All right.
They have, sanitation director Roberts has decided that he would rather the item be put up for sale or possibly issued to a different department. Just doesn't feel like he's got the money in his budget to pay the $7,500. So if I know that Superintendent Glenn had expressed interest in it early on, so it would be back on the table for anyone else, or we can proceed with selling it on GovDeals.
Okay, let's send it out and see if anybody, any other department might be interested in it. And if there's no response to that, then we'll put it on GovDeals and sell it. Does that suit everyone?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll make that motion. Is there a second?
Second,
Who seconded? I can't hear.
Commissioner Rubley.
Okay, Commissioner Rubley. Any further discussion? Then all in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries unanimously. Any other business, Mr. Cotton?
No, not for me.
I don't have any either. Any other member, financial management?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
I'd like to bring up that, in the past, I've used, Hazel Engineering Services and Big Sandy Services in my operation. And they've
Yes.
done a great, good job, and I'd like to make a motion to, continue on using these two, services for the highway department. I'd like to get it approved through the Financial Management Committee, and I so move.
we have a motion.
Second, Commissioner Wiltshire.
Commissioner Wiltshire, second. Any further questions? Mr. Cotton, is there anything else that we have to do to that in order?
I don't believe, since those, as long as those are both licensed engineering services, then we don't technically have to. They don't have to be bid. And I know that we just appointed Hazel, I believe, last year. So, and there's not really a term limit that I'm aware of
Okay?
for these items. I know it suggested that we kind of reassess every 3 to 5 years, but I don't think it's been that long.
Okay. So just wanted to clarify that for the record, so there's no questions about it. So we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Then all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries unanimously. If there's no further business, do we have a motion to adjourn?
Commissioner Wiltshire, motion to adjourn.
We have a motion from Commissioner Wiltshire. Is there a second?
Commissioner Owens, second.
Second from Commissioner Owens. No further business then. All in favor of adjournment, say aye.
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 No further business. We stand adjourned. Thank you for attending today.